David Ratcliffe is not. We've not had a chat with him today. We'll have a quick word with the Dave Ratcliffe from Team Ratters. That was a busy race for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so, Jamie. I think we pulled obviously a good grid draw. We were feeling pretty good. The testing, none of us have. Well, my old man's raced here, but John and I haven't. It's another track that we're learning. Pulled a good grid draw and threw John in at the deep end in a big way. Drew P5 and full kudos to the man. He stepped up to the plate and I think delivered his best performance in the race. I think we finished 11th with a couple of sort of attrition of people falling off in front of us, which is obviously to our benefit, but sadly not theirs. Just still lacking a little bit. We've made some changes to the car. Obviously it's cooler, which helps my personal cooling. So no excuses for the second one. We know which way we're going. We're starting third now. They've put me in to start, so it's win it or bin it, I think.
Yeah, hopefully the former and not the latter. We're speaking to Ted earlier. I think one of the main issues later on this evening, if we look over towards Rocket, is going to be the vision, because the sun's going to be right in your eyes. And of course, you and your dad and John, you don't have a visor on your crash helmet, so the shade's going to be coming out.
Absolutely, you've got to do this in style, right? Shades out, shut your eyes, whatever works. Just keep braking late and see where you end up at the end.
And setup-wise, making any changes to the car? We know Luke and the boys have been busy. What changes, if any, are you going to make on the car?
Yeah, once again, I mean, it's a big day for the lads, isn't it? I mean, they've been going for, 15, 16 hours already, and we've got 3 hours to come. They're working absolutely flat out. We've made a couple of changes that we hope will make some benefit. We were struggling towards the end of the race in particular, and that's what we're trying to deal with. But full credit to them. I mean, the amount of work they put into these cars, and it always comes out immaculate, and we then go and have a problem with it. So we owe them a good result, so that's what we're trying to deliver.
So there might be a little pint or 3 being sunk tonight then?
Absolutely. Mr. Rose needs to open that keg, doesn't he?
It's fully open now. Thanks a lot, mate. That's David Ratcliffe from Team Ratters.
JPR Team ACR in starting pole position. Rob Croydon taking the opening stint, so they've swapped their driver order from race number 1, and alongside them will be the number 97 Funcup Tifosi squad with Andrew Ishwood at the wheel. Row 2 then, Team Ratters Racing, David Ratcliffe taking the start, and the 257 car, JPR Team GT, that car started by Martin Gibson this time around. PLR Racing's Ben Pitch will start 5th alongside Team 3 Motorsport. That car started by John Perrott on the outside of row number 3. 4th row for Morpheus Racing, in desperate need of a good result after their disappointment earlier on. Neil Burrows taking the opening stint for 195 with the 104 EDF Motorsports car, another that hit early trouble in race 1, starting alongside them in the hands of Victor Cara. Then Wave 9, number 207, that will be Mark Burton at the wheel. Skull Club Racing, if they've got that car fixed, which they have, will be starting alongside them, with Russell Joyce in the car for stint number 1. Greenheath next, number 14, the car who tangled with Skull Club Racing at Rocket in that earlier race. Number 14, started by Gary Bate, and Team Summers, number 158, that's Gary Summers at the wheel, started from 12th. 7th row for Signature RV, number 49, John Whitehouse doing the opening stint. Axia Metrics, one of the quick cars that should move forward. They were top 5 in race 1, and Chris Wetherall will take the opening stint for them. Then the second Morpheus Motorsport car, number 109, that is Steve Walton with EDF's number 246 car, another top 5 contender from race 1. Starting alongside them, that's Simon Coles. And then 2 quick cars, 2 of the 3 quickest cars really from race 1, starting on row 9. MJ Tech Racing, who led more laps than anybody else in race 1, but ultimately didn't get the win. The second race in a row that's been the case for them. 249 will be started by Will Abraham with Team Uvio Hoffman's Lotus. It is Farkini at the wheel, starting from 18th. Those two definitely will march forward in the early stages. 10th row is where you find number 214, Seed Data's Mike Devlin, and our most recent race winners, having claimed their first victory of 2024, Olympian GRD Car number 1, started by Chris Bevell, will start at the back of the grid. For 2024 then, 1 race in the books already today. The evening race gets underway now, and the red lights go out. We're away and racing with number 99 holding on to the lead, and Adam Fawcett, as I suspected, dropping back already. The 155 Team Ratters Racing car gets up the inside and moves through into second place, off for 1 car further back. They're going to try and get back on the road, which they do just about. That's the 158 Team Summers car. It was Gary Summers at the wheel, and he's been off the road already through the first corner. Hopefully not too much damage done to the splitter on the 158 car. Out of the banking then, down towards Church Corner we go. A leading group of 4 developing already. PLR racing a 5th, and keep an eye on Neil Burrows, Richard. He's there in 6th place. In a way, not a lot to lose now after a disappointing first race, but car 195 looking good.
Yeah, to be honest, that's the one I picked out as they were coming along the straight, and he was not out of position, but he was teeing himself up to have a run at the inside, which he tried, and he made up 1 place. I thought it was going to be more, but just the one. It's a good quality, sharp end on this first lap. This is the nervous bit, isn't it, when they go for a rocket?
Yeah, we saw so much trouble up there in the earlier race, but they're all cleanly through, I think, on the opening lap this time around. Notice Duvio were picking up a few places further back. They're knocking on the door of the top 10 now. In fact, they might even be into the top 10 as they come out of Peel, nipping up the inside there of the 246 car. Farkini at the wheel of 225, but actually the EDF machine then launches up the inside of the School Club Racing machine of Russell Joyce as they drop down through the corkscrew for the first time and makes that place. That was a good move made by Simon Coles in car 246. It's 99 though that leads at the end of the opening lap. Ratters racing there in 2nd place, then the 257 car in 3rd, Team 3 are 4th, Morpheus racing in 5th position with Neil Burrows, and 6th place Ben Pitch for PLR Racing. That's the leading group, but a change may be on for 4th there, Richard. That was Burrows up the inside of car 98.
Yeah, making really good early progress. This is the danger, isn't it, for the other leaders in the championship. I'm sure everyone will forgive me for looking at points and things like that, but that one in terms of previous form is I got the most to gain from getting out front and staying there.
Exactly, they've had 2 bad results, but they're not out of the championship picture, but they need to start winning races now with some regularity. Here come Team Ratters Racing, meanwhile, for the race lead. Outside line towards Rocket Corner, but I don't think this is going to be an easy move, is it? Rob Croydon standing his ground, shuffles him over the edge of the road, and that opens the door for the 257 car, and Neil Burrows, who comes around the outside of all of them, and Neil Burrows into 2nd place, might even be challenging for the lead now as they head for Peel. Yes, he does, goes up the inside, has to bail out of it, but Neil Burrows, great opportunistic driving.
Yeah, he read that well, didn't he? And sometimes you say read it well when it works out okay, but otherwise you just make it saying, oh, it was unlucky. Yeah, keeping the positive spin on it, but yeah, this is all working out well. Here they come down this fantastic piece of racing tarmac, down through the corkscrew, and towards the end of the 2nd lap, packed all pretty much together still, which is great to see. Burrows now will challenge for the lead. We've got a bun fight on for 3rd place as well at the moment. Burrows right underneath the rear spoiler of the lead car though.
Team Ratters were out wide over the curbs and the grass there as they came off the final corner, but Neil Burrows going for the race lead, look, forcing the defensive move out of Rob Croydon. There goes Greenheath up the inside as well, so Greenheath picking their way through into the top 5. That car was started by Gary Bate and he's on his toes. Then Pitch now trying to capitalise on that as well, backs out of a potential move into Church Corner. This though surely is the moment that Neil Burrows makes his move. He's pushing the 99 car through Church Corner, gets the run, pulls to the right hand side of the road, but is he going to clear the 99 car before they hit the brakes, Richard?
I'm not sure he is. He started the move nice and early, yes he does. Called me a liar, he's done it, he's gone through. And the question is how deep he's going to go into Rocket. The answer is not too bad. The 3 wide might cause problems though.
Oh, that was Greenheath on the outside. Ratters, the 98 Team 3 car in there as well. This is very elbows out stuff, isn't it, at the start of the 2nd race of the day. PLR Racing benefit from that. Then Pitch nips at the inside, and he's going to move into the top half dozen with that. Again, well-read situation. Then it's EDF with Farkini in the Uvio car just inside the top 10 now, and trying to gain another place. But Farkini, as we saw in the opening stint of race 1 though, that car looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was talking to Simon Rudd about, you know, what's the tactics. You know, they put Christopher out first, and I said, you know, what can you do? He said there's actually no right answer. If you put the slower of the 3 drivers at any one circuit out, that might be the right tactic to do. However, it might be better for them to come out later. You just cannot tell how it's going to unfold.
Indeed,
with safety cars and everything else.
Exactly, yeah. Safety cars can really mess your strategy up, but we saw 3 safety cars in race 1. Race 2, though, traditionally is the quieter of the 2 races as far as safety cars.
You've got race 2s as well.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, let's see. I do my research. I have far too much time on my hands, as I've said before. Out of Church Corner comes Greenheath then, 5th position, and Ratters Racing under threat now then. So the Greenheath car, which started 11th, is now moving up into 4th position. So that car is making as much progress as anyone else, really. They've already got a bit of bodywork flapping on the left front corner, and they're going to box the Ratters car in. Out way wide goes Ben Pitch, right onto the dirty side of the road, and he forces his way back into line. This is definitely an increase of aggression compared to what we saw in the opening laps of race 1. I suppose they've got their eye in now after the first race, and they are very much willing to take a few risks because we saw the importance of getting into the lead group early.
Yeah, it pays off, doesn't it? It may not necessarily result in a win, but you know, vying for podiums and those very valuable championship points absolutely key. Now here it's hotter in the commentary box. I'm not sure whether the temperature outside is warmer or not. We'll look around. Is it hotter outside, guys, that are here? Still a bit of a breeze going. I'm not quite sure why it's so hot. I suppose the sun's coming on the glass, isn't it? Which is the main reason why.
We do have half the Fun Cup grid joining us in the box at the start of the
very
race.
welcome they are
Possibly, indeed so. But I think that probably has raised the temperature slightly. But it's a great view up here in the commentary box, so I don't blame them one little bit. It's a fantastic place to come and watch what has been a very lively start to this race. Then we're 6 minutes in. Morpheus Racing starting to get ahead now by nearly 2 seconds at the end of that previous lap. This the battle for third place though. The Greenheath car, one of the big movers. And I think, Richard, they're teeing up another move here into Rocket.
It does look like it, doesn't it? Let's have a look and see how this one pans out as they come up towards the Rocket complex again. And Ratter's racing again, going right the way around the outside run.
That was Ben Pitch, who had all four wheels, I think, over the inside curve that time, trying to, I think, avoid contact with other cars. But I think he avoided the contact, but dirt on his tyres, definitely. He's actually dropped down a few places as a result. Uvio have gone through, and I think EDF have gone by them as well as they head down through the corkscrew once again. Also just noticed, Richard, Axia Metrics well detached. In fact, they're almost a lap down already, so something's happened to Axia Metrics. They have...
That was earlier on, wasn't it, as well?
They've been in the pit lane.
2, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So Axia Metrics then have dropped down... Oh, sorry, did you spot them coming into the pit lane?
No, I saw them 3/4 of a lap down as the leaders were coming through, I think, on lap 2.
Jamie may well have already told me. His message. Let's have a look. Oh yes, 103 pitted with a broken wheel and a puncture. Blimey.
Okay.
So that was obviously some lap 1 contact, and there's almost some contact there between Greenheath and the JPR Team ACR car. Greenheath through into third position. That Greenheath car looks really rapid, doesn't it, in the early stages of this race? The 99 car then off the podium places. Ratter's in 5th position, 6th for Team 3, and Uvio Hoffman's Lotus in that bunch now. Although Farkini didn't get a very good run off Church Corner that time around. Jockeying for position now as they head up the school straight, which is anything but straight. It has those two big right-hand kinks in it. Look, the inside go Ratters and Team 3, both trying to mug the 99 car. Ratters overshoot the corner by a mile. They take to the rallycross course, and somehow, Richard, they still make the move stick.
They do make it. He's getting plenty of practice with that outside run there, isn't he, to be perfectly fair. So this is Uvio Hoffman making a move up the inside.
Just
right from the back of the grid, though, up with technically the lead group already.
Yeah, they started ready to start 18th on the grid. They're well into the top 10. This is for 6th place that they're trying to claim, but actually are now likely to lose a place maybe from EDF, who have pulled up alongside them. So the EDF 246 car, which was in 8th position, challenging Uvio, but didn't quite manage to find a way through. That was Team 3 out over the grass as well. Morpheus Racing, though, are being caught, Richard, by the 257, or 251 car as it is. It's 257 on the timing screen, not 251 on the timing tower, and the 251 on our entry. That's the GT car. So that car started by Martin Gibson, and he is starting to eat into that lead of Morpheus Racing, and Greenheath in third, quicker than the pair of them.
Yeah, Martin's had a good start, hasn't he? Started 4th on the grid, and beginning to close in, getting into a little bit of race rhythm. As we said, busy weekend for him, not content with just doing this today off, racing on bikes and enduros tomorrow, which is not, I don't think, if I've gotten bike racing right, you might know more about this than me, I think enduros are the slower ones and more sort of technical terrain.
Yes, I believe so.
Type stuff. Cool.
Yeah. Oh my word, speaking of technical terrain, is someone going to look for the grass this time? No, they all just about kept within track limits. That was Uvio round the outside that time around, and gaining a place.
Farkini going through.
Farkini's flying, isn't he? 18th on the grid. What of some of the others from the back? Well, MJ Tech are only 14th, Olympian only 15th, although, again, it's Chris Devell in the car for the opening stint for them. But MJ Tech, yes, who's in MJ Tech? Oh, of course, Will Abraham and Scott Jeffs from the commentary box a moment ago. So it's Will Abraham in the MJ Tech car, but they've had relatively slow and steady progress up the order so far. That might be for the best, though, because this is a bare-knuckle fist fight in the top 10, and I think they might be better served staying out of that for now until things calm down.
This is the scrap for 4th place at the moment, so Ratter's Racing coming under pressure. It's not going to be a battle for much longer as Farkini looks around the outside, thinks better of that, but attacking from the word go, and it amazes me how many of these drivers, will keep attacking. And we talk about this being endurance racing, long distance racing, but these guys go for it like a sprint, many of them.
Absolutely. Like I said in race 1, it's endurance racing in name only, really. Yeah. It is a 3-hour sprint race. I know that's an overused cliche, but it really is true of the Fun Cup, that's for sure. I think we just had a change for the lead. Yes, we nearly did, didn't we? Because we have had a change for the lead. That's Martin Gibson into the lead. He's closed in on Neil Burrows and has made the move stick up at Rocket. So the 257 car then in the lead of the race, and JPR Team GT into the lead. Fantastic driving that from Martin Gibson. He was nearly 3 seconds back at one point, and now he heads Neil Burrows, who tries to come back at him into the corkscrew, but can't do it surely. Well, they're side by side, but this should work out in the favour of the 257.
Go on, lads, give us a race. What we want to see some race. Don't need to even encourage them because they'll do it on their own. But bear in mind, that lead car was the cause of one of the 3 safety cars in race number 1, and they fixed it, got it out, and it's running well. They did get back out in race number 1, so the lappery they put in would have paid dividends in getting Martin used to the car as the challenge is on for second place.
I haven't missed the memo here. This is still a 3-hour race. They haven't shortened it to a 20-minute sprint, have they? This is very aggressive, but very entertaining. That was Greenheath through into second place with a super late lunge into the banking. You don't actually see a lot of overtaking into the banking, but proving that it is possible there was Gary Bate for Team Greenheath, who is flying. He's got Neil Burrows giving him a helping hand now up the hill, and as they head towards the braking zone, was that a touch maybe? Burrows suddenly snatched the brakes, I think. There's been a change for 4th as well, I believe, just behind this group. Wait. There they are, side by side, and that's Farkini being absolutely ushered off the road, keeps his foot on it, and gets the place anyway. That was fantastic.
Farkini bringing Rallycross to Anglesey Circuit for the first time. Top stuff. I was going to say about Gary Bates, started down in 11th place, and he's up in 11 entries that have Masters in them. 5 Masters started.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not that that means anything, but it's...
No, well, and they're doing well. I mean, we've got Masters leader in second place. Ratters Racing are also in the Masters. They're 5th, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in the top 9. So holding their own, aren't they? Right then, Greenheath for the lead maybe now. That bodywork flapping away, but not slowing down our Masters leader, Gary Bate, who goes to the outside of Martin Gibson into Rocket, but that's been a perilous place to go so far in this race. I don't blame him backing out of there.
There was a bit of burrowing going on, wasn't there? Very nearly to go up into retake second position. But Burrows, the early leader, down in 3rd. But the group staying together, which is really encouraging to see. And great for the likes of the Hoffman car in 4th, who is a little way back. It's a big gap, but now those 3 are squabbling, it'll probably come down with Farkini's speed as well.
The trouble is Farkini can't get away from Ratters Racing and EDF Motorsports, who themselves have swapped now for 5th position on this lap. He's sort of stuck battling with them, and as he defends, so the leaders get a little bit further away. This has always been a favourite of mine, the Anglesey double header.
It's fabulous.
But Uvio's gone round again. So Fabulous, Farkini's gone round again. Fabulous is waiting, looking a bit lost in the pit lane, but Farkini has gone round again. And I'm sure he'd already seen the pit lane closed board once. Now, they've caught me out with this before, and I was convinced that they were going to get a penalty, and then they didn't. So maybe they just timed it about right. But I wonder...
Didn't get a penalty for overtaking the safety car in the first race either.
That's true. That's very true.
Plus you've got a little card, it's like Monopoly, you can have a free...
Maybe. Well, I think they probably used up their get out of jail free cards today, if that's the case. So, yes, well remembered. Yes, it was 20.2, I think, in race 1. So lap record we think is a 19.2, but that would more than likely have been set in the second race of the day, because it is generally a bit cooler. Right. Even though it doesn't feel cooler up here, the track conditions, the track temperature might be dropping slightly, and that will speed things up a little bit. So he is flying nearly half a minute off the lead, but I reckon that's going to come down over the course of the stint. The other car that I thought may gain a bit more out of that round of pit stops is Olympian GRD. They're 9th at the moment and a similar distance back to Harry Mailer. Meanwhile, we've had a change for 4th position, 6th position, 7th position, 6th position. I can't count fingers. 6th position between EDF and Ratters Racing, is it? Yes, so that is EDF ahead of Ratters Racing into 6th position for the number 246 car. That car 246 has dropped down the order, hasn't it, from where it was before the pit stop, but it's now starting to get some of that ground back.
It has. Where's our other race? Our previous race winner, Olympian GRD, up into 9th. We thought they pitted from around about 12th, 13th place, so a couple of places made there. Further progress going on for the race 1 winners. And of course what you've got to do is, there is the opportunity in the 3-hour race to work your way through the field, And I'm guessing in jumble grids, you've just got to take what points you can get, head up towards the podium. You can't expect wins in this championship because it is so fiercely competitive. And if they can't get the win, they'll just be looking for top 5, top 3.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, again, banking the points all the time. But I think they'll be up there. I think they'll be up there at the end of the race, that's for sure. He goes 257. Is this for position against Ratters Racing? Yes, it is.
Yeah,
That's 7th position. So the 257 car again, which has dropped well down during that round of pit stops. And here, look, comes Simon Rudd. So Simon Rudd, a part of this battle now. And if you look just behind him, there'll be a Gulf livery number 49 car. That is Harry Mailer. Rudd up the inside of Ratters Racing, who I think just at the last second saw him coming. And he should now be able to make that move stick, heading down through the corkscrew. On the outside line on the way in, but that becomes the inside line for the right-hander, and Simon Rudd is going to go through. So nice move made, but Harry Mailer is the next car behind him. You can see the body language of the signature RV car. He is on a mission.
It's good, isn't it? Doesn't matter where you look, you've got quick drivers coming over. And the fascinating thing about this type of racing is when you get the driver changes, then you see different drivers against other. You haven't seen them necessarily pitched against each other, maybe in the previous round, certainly not in the previous race. So can't remember Simon Rudd dicing with Harry Mailer in race number 1.
No.
And that's what we've got to look forward to if Harry Mailer can negotiate Ratters Racing car, which he does, side by side. Plenty of room.
Yeah, Harry he did a couple of full seasons in Front Club, but it was a few years ago, and I think he stopped racing in Front Club about when Simon came into it a couple of years ago. So no, I don't think they have met all that often. Certainly not that I recall seeing anyway. Ratters Racing back on the inside though. Nicely done. Who's in the Ratters car now? That is Peter Ratcliffe, but he overshoots it slightly. And not the first time we've seen that car going wide up at Rocket, and this time he does give the place back again. So yeah, Harry Mailer versus Simon Rudd. That is a pretty tasty proposition, isn't it? And that should be a really entertaining scrap.
Who's the rookie in 155, by the way? He's got the cross on the back. Do you know?
The rookie in 155... not sure, because they're all called Ratcliffe. I can't remember which one we've seen and which one we haven't, but I'm holding him up slightly. His previous lap was a 1:20.2 though, so he was fastest man on the track last time around. And Harry Mailer crosses the line, still 29 seconds off the lead, so he's not gaining anything, but once he clears the EDF 246 car, I suspect he will have a chance of doing just that. He's going to maybe try and do that into the hairpin of the banking. There goes to the outside line. Instead trying to focus on getting a good exit, rotates the car a bit too well on the way into the turn. Carries the speed off, gets in the slipstream, heads for the right-hander at Church Corner. Is he going to try the inside line at Church? Yes, he is, and Harry Mailer goes through. So that is 7th place then for Harry Mailer, and now he's unleashed, now he's in clean air, and now we'll see exactly what Harry Mailer is capable of.
Yeah, it's interesting. Next target's going to be Team Olympian, of course, who won race 1. We've got all the expected big hitters now in the top half dozen, I think you can safely say. PLR in 5th ahead of Olympian, MJ Tech in 4th place from 17th on the grid. Olympian, of course, coming up from 20th. Uvio Hoffman up from 18th. Greenheath in 2nd, up from 11th on the start. Morpheus, who started 7th. And how far are Morpheus ahead? We'll have to wait till the rest of them come through.
6.2 seconds.
6.2.
So it's growing, definitely growing. MJ Tech, though, are catching Uvio, hand over fist, actually. They took another 3/10 out of Uvio last time around. So Scott Jeffs inching towards Fabulous Randaccio. That group's just making its way around the banking, I think, now, yes, towards Church Corner. And I'd say they're both catching Greenheath, so I think 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Here they are, look, right on cue. So heading through Church Corner, 2nd, 3rd and 4th places. This, I think, is the battle that's developing, Richard. They might just get to each other in time for the next round of pit stops.
And it'll throw all the cards up in the air again. But we don't mind, because that's what it's about.
So Uvio turn through Rocket. Lots of curb used. I don't remember them using that much curb in race 1 through the Rocket complex.
No.
I think this late in the day they'd be maybe just looking after the cars a little bit more, but the opposite seems to be true.
They're getting tired, bless them.
Maybe they are. They're trying to shorten the track as much as they can so that they can
I think Jack Noller's entitled to, actually, with his Mazda race as well, to be honest.
That's very true. Right, we've got a replay lined up, I believe. I confess I didn't hear what it is, but we'll figure it out. It is Signature RV up the inside of Ratters Racing. This is one of a few very good moves that Harry Mailer's been making of late. He gets up the inside into Church Corner, just about wriggles through. Have everyone running though, everyone back out on track for those that had some earlier dramas. 6.4 seconds the lead gap, so it came down by a couple of tenths that time around. What I've been monitoring is Signature RV. Well, they're 27 seconds off the lead, so in fairness, Harry Maid has taken a few seconds out of that gap, but really as much as he would have liked.
Two quickest cars at the moment, lapping in 120.6s, are Fabulous and 249 MJ Tech, but not significantly quicker to close in on the race leader, I don't think, before we get the pit window, so it could come down to driver changes again. Where are we like, I can't remember, did we get fuel added on our second stops last time?
Yes, but I think that was partly because it was on the safety car. I seem to recall the second and third stops were on the safety car, weren't they?
That's right.
One of the front runners double fueled at the second stop, and
that was Uvia Hoffman, wasn't it?
Might have been Uvia, I think you're right. Yeah, they probably wouldn't choose to do the same again now, but you never know. They might go for a slightly wacky strategy. Good to see one of the teams there watching the live coverage down in the garages. It was nice to hear earlier on, wasn't it? So the drivers saying they do appreciate the live coverage, that they and their families and their teams are really enjoying it. I've been saying for years that it's good sometimes to tune in and watch it back again. People accuse me of being vain and wanting to listen back to my commentary. It's not that at all. It's amazing the things you forget, actually, even on a race that you've commentated on.
I think it's a way of learning as well. I certainly learn about, even at my old age, you learn about what I've said right or wrong. So, not a bad thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I would not wish that on anyone else. If you do want to watch with the audio muted, I wouldn't blame you at this stage.
Nonsense.
But the Ratters racing car back out into the race. Jamie Peters-Ennis was marching towards them. He's going to get there a bit late because they've already left their pit box. That means we're into another pit window though, and it means that this is the second round of pit stops beginning.
2 Mazda races tomorrow.
And they're not normally easy, are they? So yeah, he'll get a good night's sleep tonight, hopefully. I can't remember what time the first MX-5 race is. I think it's quite early tomorrow as well, so not much to rely on poor old Jack. And here comes the 99 machine.
Charger?
Let's see if that... Bear with me.
Right, so while Andy goes, it was charged up this morning, so I hope that's not the fire hazard one, by the way. Before we worry about evacuating the building here. So let's have a quick look and see how many more. Wrong one. USB-C, sorry. Have I got a plug as well? Let's have a look. I think all the plugs are back at the B&B, which isn't good, because I thought we've got the...
I'm sure the viewers at home are enjoying this conversation that they're getting half of. Is that USB-C? USB, I suspect, isn't it?
No.
Not to worry, not to worry. We'll have to do without my stats.
Have you got a cable? C cable?
A USB-C cable, yes.
There you go.
That's USB though, isn't it?
Oh, but the C goes in there, doesn't it? Is it a double-ended C?
But yeah, both ends. Sorry. Sorry, Richard, never mind.
Oh, well, we tried.
We'll make do. We'll make do. If anyone around Anglesey has a USB-C charger they can send to the commentary box.
Jamie, can you go and get one?
yeah, Jamie's on it already, I'm sure. Anyway, back to the race. Morpheus Racing lead now by 6.2 seconds, just to prove me wrong, so they've extended their margin quite significantly. Here goes PLR Racing at the inside of the 104, the outside actually of the 104 car, heading into Rocket, and that's a pretty brave place to put yourself. Have PLR made another pit stop? No, they haven't. So that's still Neil Plymmer, and you can tell that's Neil Plymmer actually because, and I mean this with no disrespect, he took his nose out of that gap pretty quickly. He knows when to pick his fights, does Neil Plymmer, and realised that wasn't really the time. So we are at, we've got about 3 minutes left of this pit window. That is the Chris Hart, Steve Walton car. That's 109, isn't it? So that is Chris Hart handing back over to Steve Walton once again. As Uvio continue to push on with MJ Tech behind. So MJ Tech have not really taken a chunk of time out of Uvio. They've maybe halved that gap. Well, not even that really. It's still over a second adrift with the 257 car between them. Olympian. Now Simon Rudd, we haven't really mentioned much in this stint. 23 seconds back as they make their way out of Church Corner now. Now he was 13 when he pitted, when that car pitted, when Simon Rudd took over, that car was 13. He's now 4th, but still a long way off the race leader, isn't he?
He is, yeah. But of course we've got Riley Phillips to continue his good work in the third stint. And again, better check that out because they did different ones. So this one is, yeah, Christo Vell, then Simon Rudd, then Christo Vell for the third stint as well.
Okay, interesting.
And
yeah,
then,
they did that last time,
yeah,
didn't they?
and then Riley 4 and 6, Simon 2 and 5. So yeah, same as race 1.
That's right, yeah. So in a way, they'd like to keep on charging after the leaders, wouldn't they, really, in this stint? In comes Ted Bradbury, by the way. So Neil Burrows taking over, thing that Scott Jeffs said. He often comes out with some interesting little bits to Scott. And he said after race 1 that you can push hard for a couple of laps and you'll be fine. But then the next 5 laps, you'll have no grip at all because the tyres, the pressures spike so quickly, and then you've got to calm it down. So having had one moment up at Rocket, Burrows probably then didn't really have the grip underneath him that he was hoping for, and off he went again with that bit of oversteer at Church Corner. So that's why you've got to be patient. To Ted Bradbury's point, you've got to manage the tyres, manage the car, because if you push, you might go quick for a few laps, but it won't last.
Chatting to Scott's dad actually for the first time today, and an interesting guy to talk to. And
so I suspect we're going to go safety car here for too much longer, but the 109 car, that is a shame. It's in the hand, there it is, look, the 109 car in the hands at the moment of Steve Walton has coasted to a halt.
Being our prediction intact, it didn't happen. I got it wrong again. It's the day for Andy getting it right, me getting it wrong. But anyway, we're racing again here on Anglesey. And it's all closed up. Christo Vell coming under a little bit of pressure from that 249. Will Abraham at the wheel, ready to hand over for his stint, makes up the position. So good move from him.
It's nice
start from Greenheath though out front.
Yeah, they're looking strong, aren't they? Pit window board. Has just been held over the pit wall. Now, no one's seen it yet, so next time by, anyway, is when the pit window opens properly. But big winners out of this, Richard. We were discussing off mic during that safety car period. Olympian GRD and MJ Tech. Olympian GRD because they regained a lot of the time that they'd lost through the first part of this stint, although Christovel's got a bit of a fight on his hands now with Ben Pitch going round the outside of him in the PLR racing car. But MJ Tech, who had that long pit stop, they filled the car with fuel pretty much, and they certainly took more fuel on board than everybody else did. Well, they did that for free, basically. They've lost no time out of that net, and now this pit stop should be a little bit quicker. I would not be surprised to see Scott Jeffs in the lead when he takes over the car in 10 minutes or so. Yeah,
that's a really good shout, isn't it? Christo Vell, do you think he'll come in the first lap and hand over? He lost out a little bit there because he did have that, was it 10 seconds or so, lead over the car that was immediately behind him before the safety car. Still doing a good job, still in a very, very handy place. Look at the inset as we expect the cars to come in very shortly, so they're all seeing the pit.
Greenies, so the race leader's taking on plenty of fuel. And who were the other ones that came in just then? That was Olympian GRD, and they're double fueling as well, Richard. So we're getting double fuel from Greenheath and Olympian GRD. A single fuel, I think, for MJ Tech. Yes, it was. But a very wild entry into their pit box.
There were a couple of cars actually before they got into the pit lane, and it doubles round on itself. It's not a smooth entry, is it? So you come round, you're going round the left-hander, and then you've got to go a left and a right. And some of those cars were, I was going to say on the limit, actually over the limit coming in.
I mean, you shouldn't be losing control if you're at pit lane speed limit, I would suspect. So I would not be, I hope this isn't true, but I would not be surprised to see a pit lane speeding penalty for MJ Tech, because that was a wild entry. We didn't see it on camera. They were sideways into their pit box. They were so late jinking into the box. Hopefully, Will Abraham got it slowed down to pit lane speed. To your point, Richard, speaking from experience, they'll wait till the... Oh, no, they won't. No, they won't wait. The safety car is out.
Coming out.
Now that surprises me. It is very unlike Julian Floyd to throw a safety car during a pit window. Now,
line astern. This has been a fascinating race so far. We're back racing here on Anglesey, heading towards our 5th segment now. So we're halfway through the 4th segment at the minute as they go up towards the banking for the first time. And Riley Phillips is going to have a little nibble here, looking for that 3rd place.
Yes, he is. Yes, I was about to doubt you. It is Riley Phillips, isn't it? Not Simon Rudd. Yeah, Phillips, then Rudd, then Phillips, as it was in race 1. So Riley Phillips then going for 3rd position. We've got the quick drivers in the car. Look at the understeer on the Morpheus car, that damage from split, which interestingly they didn't choose to fix. Even on the safety car there, is just causing them a little bit of trouble, and so through will go the Olympian GRD car, and bringing with them Team Greenheath, who refuse to go away in this battle. Are they going to make that move, stick around the outside as well? That gives them the inside for the second part of Rocket, but they bail out of it, and so in the end Paul Turner stays in 5th position, but Olympian GRD into 3rd spot. It does just look like that Morpheus car is struggling a little bit with understeer.
Yeah, it does, wasn't it? And that was kind of, it's affecting the car at the place where the damage was sustained earlier on, isn't it, coming out of church?
Indeed so. Green flags waving then as they descend upon the corkscrew. And absolutely bumper to bumper for the race lead now. So Uvio Hoffman's Lotus on the tail of MJ Tech. Scott Jeff's definitely not getting away here, is he? Look at this, 1, 2, 3. They flash across the line. Top 3 covered by less than half a second as they head for target corner once again. This the 76th lap of the race, and Uvio, I think, shaping up for a move on it right round the outside.
Riley Phillips.
What was that all about for Riley Phillips? Did he get the car stopped at all? Yes, he did. He is still there. He didn't gain a place, but that was supremely late on the brakes. Uvio go through into the lead, but Riley Phillips, I don't think that was intentional. I think he possibly outbraked himself a touch there.
I think he was treating the banking as the wall of death there.
Yes.
Goodness me.
Wow. And look at the push he's giving back to Scott Jeffs now. So he's given Scott Jeffs a book tap, and Jeffs and Riley Phillips both get back ahead of Uvio. So that's 2 lead changes in 3 corners. And now Scott Jeffs back to the front of the field with Riley Phillips hunting around on the outside. Riley Phillips was the fastest driver in race number 1, and we saw him go from 7th to the lead in this equivalent stint of that race after a safety car. This time he only had to come from 4th, and he's already on the tail of the race leader.
This is what we were saying, you know, the driver changes. We've got a cracking lineup, but now with the safety car having been affected twice in the last couple of stints, we've now got quality drivers up the front, all brought together. Riley Phillips, goodness me. Thinking of a joke there is the Riley Phillips screwdriver, corkscrew driver coming through there. He's really having a go, isn't he? Tooled up certainly to have a stab for the lead, but now comes under pressure once again from the 225 car, and Randaccio will put the pressure on him. All of these guys perfectly go. Here comes fabulous Randaccio down the inside and tags the leader. They're both off.
All 3 of them are off. All 3 of them off, and that is what we didn't want to see. Scott Jeffs pointing the wrong way on the exit of the banking. Possible damage to the Uvio car as well. Is the Uvio car wounded? I think it might be all right. Away goes Scott Jeffs, but that car, I don't think it's tracking quite straight. He might be all right. It was only a tiny little touch, and they've been given a 15-second stop-go penalty for a pit stop infringement. Now that might have been that pit entry that I mentioned for Will Abraham. Greenheath lead the race. Team Greenheath are back out in front. Neil Burrows was briefly second, and that is Raptors Racing for position, joining in the battle as well. What crazy restart, and it's Greenheath from Morpheus at the front.
Goodness me, what does it say in America? Yellows breed yellows. We haven't got another yellow yet, but could it happen? Could it happen?
Wow.
Riley Phillips is still there, I think, in 5th place.
Yes, I think he is. Uvio's car actually looks all right. I thought for a moment it was going slowly, but it has sped back up again now.
Such
Riley
a shame
Phillips
for
is
Scott
there
Jeffs,
too.
though. That's such a pit. I thought we were going to have a 3-car train right the way, maybe to the next pit window, and maybe onwards as well. Who's to say we won't have the same thing going on a little bit later on?
We've still got a battle for the lead, Richard. It's a 3-way fight between Greenheath, Morpheus and Raptors Racing. We've still got 2 Morpheus cars in this group actually, but the 109 car is a lap down. But that has flipped the race upside down, because the 3 favourites all tangled up in that incident. They're not out of it, but any advantage they may or may not have had through strategy has now absolutely gone out of the window. We're going to take another look at what happened here.
Single one.
Exactly, it's a thankless job, isn't it?
Yeah,
because you're always going to upset somebody. Now, that is a change for the lead. That's Neil Burrows up the inside into the banking, gets himself ahead of Team Greenheath. This Burrows in that car is
It was, 2 stints,
double stinting, and Neil Burrows back out in front then. So now Morpheus Racing lead the way. Greenheath second, Raptors Racing on the podium again, having a standout day. But here comes Riley Phillips. He came out of that the best of the worst, if you like. He was an innocent victim, ended up off the road, but he has at least managed to carry on. That's the stop-go penalty for MJ Tech, and that was the move, I think, for 3rd place by Riley Phillips. He is not out of this one at all.
No, he's not. He's having a go. We've got a great battle on for the lead, and Riley wants to get up there with this battle. Was there contact again? I thought the 14 car was going to go sideways there. Again, lesser drivers would have kept their foot in, but the 195 car, Neil Burrows, just took his foot out of that. And as a result, you can see Riley Phillips now through. He's got a clear run at them.
If ever there was a suggestion that race 1 was a bit on the quiet side, we will not be saying the same thing here about race 2. This is going to go down in the history books, this one, isn't it? What an absolutely sensationally bonkers race we've had, and we still have over an hour of it to go. Neil Burrows leads for Morpheus Racing. Greenheath a second then. Third place Olympian GRD. Fourth for Ratters Racing. And fifth position for JPR Team ACR. The top 5 cars covered by 2 seconds as they head to the banking once again. And Riley Phillips, not for the first time, hunting around on that outside line.
Riley's definitely going for it, isn't he? And he's the man on the move at the moment. Look at this, the 3 of them very close together. Massive pressure on Neil Burrows out front at the moment. He's not got 100% pristine car, running wide. Let's see if Burrows is going to. Now it's 3 wide. And on the grass. Is he going to lose control or keep it? He kept it pointing in the right direction. How did he do that?
That was outrageous. Riley Phillips has just taken the lead with a pass in the grass that Dale Earnhardt would have been proud of. That was sensational. Into the lead of the race goes Riley Phillips. He never lifted his foot off the throttle once, and he's rewarded with the lead. Yes, he's got some damage to the front splitter. He won't mind that. That was the greatest overtake I have ever seen in Fun Cup, and believe me, that is a high standard.
You've seen a fair few of them. Goodness me. And then the second place car, flapping more than the Scotland goalkeeper last night, I've got to say, in P2. Greenheath in 3rd place. JPR Team ACR 4th. And we've still got 2 more stints to go.
I don't know if I can take it. I mean, this is just fantastic.
We should carry on to 11.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Someone hide the checkered flag. This has been an incredible middle hour of this Fun Cup Endurance race. Here we go, another second place change. This is Greenheath coming back now at the ever increasingly damaged number 195 car. Every time we see it, there seems to be a new body panel that's hanging loose, but through goes Paul Turner. Are we going to see a fight back from Neil Burrows on the outside? Of course we are. Sailed around the outside. Climbing the curve is the Greenheath machine. And look at 99 at the outside as well. They're going to be 3 wide before too much longer. Burrows squeezes his way back through, and here comes the 99 car into 3rd place. A car that, remember, Aaron Cook told Jerry to go for 2nd on the inside of Burrows. There's contact sideways for both of them, and Greenheath may yet benefit out of this. No, there's not quite room, but Aaron Cook reckoned that car had a bit of an issue, didn't he, earlier on? But it is not showing any signs of that now. 99 is a genuine contender.
It is. You know, the black VW and going sideways just reminded me of when Jenson Button's dad John used to race a black VW sideways at the Chestnut Drift. Tell you what, he wasn't getting that sideways and carrying on, was he, back in the day? Oh, incredible stuff. Burrows, though, you know, he's got a damaged car and still going on for it. Is that tyre going to go pop, though?
Well, yeah, that's the
tyre rubbing. That's the
Morpheus, isn't it? 109. Right, more replays. That
replay through into P2, but Neil Burrows will continue to hunt him down. It's form an orderly queue, or is it orderly or disorderly? Form a queue. Anyway, we won't get into the descriptive because it will probably be wrong. Down through the corkscrew we go again. Throwing it down there they are now, and still an hour to go. You think that being this late in the day, with how much track time that they've had, I was going to say that it'll be more ragged, but it's ragged enough, isn't it?
I failed to see how it can get much more ragged than this, but mighty entertaining, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Neil Burrows, so he's into the side of 99, around he goes. Burrows has got around, and that was just a move too far, I think, really. He was so far back, carried a bit too much speed into the banking, and ended up getting into a half spin. Through goes Uvio significantly, so that has championship ramifications, really. Neil Burrows cannot afford a bad result here, but he seems to be of the opinion, Neil, that car is so badly damaged already, it doesn't really matter if it does any more damage to it. He's bouncing off everyone and everything, and that time it bit him.
Yeah, I wonder if Ted saw that on the live stream. He's going to give him more work to do in his final stint. No. The double stint, more contact.
Ratters into Morpheus now. What is going on? Morpheus pointing the wrong way in the worst possible part of the track. The field are bearing down on them in a cloud of smoke. EDF almost made contact, and thankfully, mercifully, the Morpheus car gets going again. That was Chris Hart getting tapped into that particular spin. Oh, right.
Chris timed that recovery
Yes, he did.
superbly. I've got to say, he
Yeah.
moved that car just at the right time.
Absolutely, it can happen, especially if they're going to race like that. Safety car! Safety car! Why have we got a safety car?
Safety car out. Jamie's looking up in a puzzled way towards.
I think he sums up how we're all feeling, I think.
We're with you, Jamie. We're with you.
Yeah, so, right, what's happened? Well, I don't know what's happened, but Olympian have pitted. That I do know. Olympian GRD have pitted. They're back out on track, just ahead of Green Heath are in. Are they refuelling? I don't think they did refuel Green Heath. 99 don't appear to be refueling either. But what this means for the order, I don't really know. What it does mean, Richard, I can say for sure, is that Olympian GRD will lose that big lead that Riley Phillips had worked so hard to build up over the last portion of the race. Now, they are going to have Simon Rudd in for this stint, then Riley for the last stint, but that, what was it, 10, 11 second lead that they had, that's no more.
And that's your safety car for you, isn't it?
And
that's
that is
Fun
a
Cup racing.
Fourth safety car? Third?
Yeah, it is a third, isn't it? I think.
I think so. Yes, it is. Third safety car. A prediction before the last safety car restart. I could never have predicted that.
I don't think we'll get any more.
Really? I hope you're right, I really do. 42.5 minutes on the clock. And Simon Rudd leads the field to the green flag as they drop down through the corkscrew and begin again. And that was a brilliant restart from Simon Rudd. Look, he's gapped the Axia Metrics car, which is second in the queue, but not second in the race. In fact, the next two cars, 103 and 109, both are lapped down. So actually the 14 car of Gary Bate is in second place, but we've seen, haven't we, Gary Bate every bit as quick as the others, and he's already trying to set off after the race leader.
Yeah, he is having to go Farkini, a couple of cars, obviously lapped cars between himself and the top three. And remember, that car with Fabulous at the wheel was the only one with the number one car lapping in the 120s before. They are just a little bit, but Farkini, you could see the determination to get up into that second place and also clear the 103 car, the Axia Metrics 103 car, which presently has Jonathan Railton at the controls. He's not doing a bad job speed-wise either, isn't he? As they come down through the corkscrew, he's the race leader, Simon Rudd, using this opportunity with the lapped car, not holding them up because they're quite capable of getting past when they pick their moment, but not really helping the back. They're squabbling for places as well. Probably do a much better job getting past and then sorting it out. But we mentioned that we've got pit lane to car radio, but the car to car isn't the thing, is it? Particularly when it's not your teammate.
Can you imagine?
Sorry, 4.9.
Hunters out wide. Harry Bailey gains another place. That's seventh now for Harry. And keep an eye on that MJ Tech car as well at the back of the group. It hasn't looked all that rapid, has it, after that contact? Again, it didn't seem very heavy contact, but it is now about to start gaining places. On the inside of EDF's number 246 car goes Will Abraham. And they're going to go three abreast actually with the Skull Club car. 98 have just been on the grass behind them as well, I can tell you. But that I think will still be a place gained by Will Abraham, and he needs to gain a few more. So again, a whole host of cars missed the breaking point by a mile into Rocket. Will Abraham, hopefully not one of them. Can he go right around the outside? Yes, he can. And he's got the inside into the second part of Rocket. So one place just about gained for MJ Tech, but there's plenty more work to be done.
There is. I'm just trying to work out if they get a decent stop, how much closer to a podium are they going to get by the end?
Is there any hope, isn't it really, is that we in the back of our minds, let's remember that long stop they had earlier on. I'm not sure whether that's carried through to this point, but if they do have less fuel or no fuel to put in at the final stop, that could benefit them. But like you quite rightly said, with these safety car pit stops, there's a good chance that others are now fueled to the end as well. So that advantage may have gone, but we'll find out, I suppose, in 10 minutes or so.
We know it's a quick car, so yeah, could be progress to be made as Harry Mailer dances around the outside line looking to make up a few more places.
They're not lacking in commitment, are they, some of these drivers? Very late on the break. It didn't really work for Harry, but it might now benefit him as they head out of church. He's got a bit of a run, the 99 and 257 car, both of whom he's fighting for position. So this is the fight for fifth place. He's not going to do a Riley Phillips. No, he gives the bumper to the 257 car that's now being driven by Martin Gibson, and they both get past the 99, and then he launches to the inside very late on the brakes. There's a bit of a squeeze into Rocket, and Harry Mailer, I think, is going to go through. Is he? Martin Gibson has to give way, and two places gained in one, but that was If it hadn't been for Riley Phillips, I'd be saying that was the best move of the day. It was pretty close, wasn't it? As now, look at this, MJ Tech getting past about 4 cars in one.
What did we say about MJ Tech?
Yeah. My word, they're not out of it yet, are they? Oh, Ratters might have a problem. I think Ratters Racing might have a problem. And if they do, Richard, that's a crying shame because they've driven really well today. They don't deserve that.
I agree, Andy, 100%. Yeah, big shame. Really good, strong performance. And let's just have a little look back. Looking a little bit not happy coming down from the corkscrew into pit lane.
Left rear, maybe? The car seems to be sliding on
it is,
the left rear.
Oh, what a shame.
It is a shame. They pull in, frustratingly for us, directly underneath our commentary position, so we can't see what's happening. Jamie perhaps can report. There we go. And what are they looking at? Is it right rear, right front? Left front they're looking at. That's interesting. I couldn't see anything wrong with the left front, but...
Peter Shearer's on hand to get the notes. I'm scribbling away there, please, Peter.
Yeah, well, if Peter knows what's happening, we're all guaranteed to find out what's happening, aren't we, at some point? I think it is the left rear that they're worried about. But what a shame. There is a Team of the Day award in Fun Cup, and it gets awarded to a different team at every round. And I think they're definite contenders for Team of the Day this weekend, especially, really, if they don't get the result they deserve, because this is the best I've seen from Ratters Racing. And, yeah, such a shame that, unfortunately, their second race has become derailed with, perhaps a loose wheel or damaged rear suspension. I'm not sure, but there's something in that left rear corner.
Yeah, good. A good argument for them to get Team of the Day. Out they go. Swiftly done, back out, and ready to rejoin the race.
Jamie tells us it was a left rear puncture, but I'm not convinced I saw them change the tyre, did you? I don't think they did. I think they were tightening a wheel, weren't they? Maybe they did. Jamie had a better view for us, so I don't know why I'm doubting him, but anyway, whatever it was, they've lost a lap, I think, as they may have changed the tyre before the camera. Fair point, well made. Right then, Olympian GRD lead by 6.5 seconds. Greenheath in second place, a 1.5 clear of Uvio, who haven't ever been able to regain the time they lost up at Rocket a couple of laps ago, have they?
No, they haven't got that back, and this is, dare I say it, whisper it, this has been a little bit more calm this half hour.
How you've done it. It's time, yeah. Oh, that is, well, surely not Ted Bradbury, it's probably Neil Burrows. How have they got that Morpheus car fit? I mean, I use the word fixed loosely, but it's better than it was 20 minutes ago.
Race worthy.
Just about, yes. Once you've set the fastest lap now, which is worth a bonus point, remember, but that car doesn't really look like a Fun Cup car anymore. It's got a big bandage over the side of it. It's just above where the front wing should be, but isn't. And yeah, that car, whoever's in it, is going to have a bit of a handful, I think. But they are 20th place. They're 3 laps behind the 109 Morpheus car. But if other people drop out of the race, they could still gain a few positions.
There's still places to be made. Just around about 3 minutes to the last pit window opening up. 7 seconds now, Simon Rudd. So Simon doing his job out front and getting away from the Greenheath car in P2, the 225 car, Uvio Hoffman machine in 3rd position still, not able to close in. We're getting a look of them going down towards Church. Simon Rudd, huge lead as he goes up towards Rocket. This is exactly what he likes. The other thing, of course, that the safety car gives us is the chance for the leader to get in some clear laps, get in clear air, not have to worry about lapping drivers.
Absolutely right. There goes Harry Mailer, meanwhile, just nipping up the inside of Morpheus. Even that's not an easy overtake. In fact, he's not going to get the overtake done at all.
You're not having that, mate.
12 laps down, half a car. That is what it was. So that would have been a little bit of tiny side-to-side contact, wouldn't it? Pop the valve out. And now here they are getting involved in more side-to-side contact.
They are. So we do think that's Neil Burrows in the car, do we?
Yes.
Wouldn't have let Ted get back in the...
Well, the last I heard, Ted was going to be checked over just as a precaution. As off goes Harry Mailer now at Church Corner. I think he followed the Ratters Racing car off. And is that going to cost him a position? No, because one of these cars behind him, I don't think, are on the lead lap. But this could be a big sort out, Richard, into Rocket.
It is a massive one. Drivers can get back in. We had the issue at Thruxton last weekend where Jack Sherwood actually went to the local hospital to get leg pain checked out.
Oh, really?
His car then turned up in the holding area with him in it for the next race. We weren't expecting him to do it, but they cleared him and said, yeah, okay, but worrying for me if a driver's talking about leg pain and then goes to hospital and comes back and race. But yeah, I don't know who's in there, but they're entertaining us anyway.
Well, indeed so. So, I mean, I do quite a bit of motorbike racing commentary, and I've seen riders turn up with broken collarbones to complete a race, so nothing would surprise me, quite frankly. It's a different mindset you need to go racing of any kind, isn't it? Down through the course really come. The pit window is open, so final round of pit stops of the evening are almost upon us, and I wonder who's going to head in first, and this could be the key stop. Who needs fuel, how much fuel do they need, and who can execute in the pit lane perfectly to put themselves perhaps in a race-winning position. At the moment, things look good for Olympian GRD, but are they going to come out on top in 30 minutes' time? Oh my word, that is not for position, by the way, Richard, but that was...
no, indeed.
You'd think it was, wouldn't you? Wow. Oh no, the car behind them went off as well, and that was C data. So every time I look, there is a cloud of dust somewhere around the track. That time exiting Church Corner. This for second place though, Richard, so this has been an ongoing battle, and now finally they're back together again. It took Uvio longer than I thought it would to catch up, although Gary Baterswood made the point, has been very quick all day, and is now having to defend once again from a very rapid Farkini.
Been a good match, these two, haven't they? It's been interesting to see the stint. Farkini will probably stay out as long as possible, unless they fancy a quick stop to make the jump into P2 and maybe have a go at Riley Phillips in the last stage, but we'll see how it pans out. First of the cars comes in, and it's the 14 in.
I think that's earned. I'm not convinced they'd seen that board. I'm not even going to go there. I've been wrong a few times about that today, but I feel like that was a little bit early.
I reckon they did.
You reckon they did?
Yeah,
okay.
you said it a good couple of minutes ago about the board going out.
Lost all sense of time, I think,
Indeed.
at this point. Right, okay, they're fine, they're off the hook. That was a pretty swift driver change, I would say, and
No
a dry
fuel.
stop. Yeah,
Yep.
no fuel taken. And that looked pretty good. Podium for Greenheath, I'd say, is still very much on the cards here today.
It does look that way, doesn't it? So Gary Bates can be very pleased with his day.
Okay, that was ambitious round the outside for whoever is in the 195 car. The way we've seen Neil Burrows driving, I'm beginning to think that is Neil in the car again. Yes, it is, actually. I can see from the helmet that is Neil Burrows. So that was, again, an adventurous... There's plenty of grip on the grass. That's what we're learning, isn't it? Because it doesn't appear that you have to really lift off if you find yourself out there.
You're right, we've seen so much of that. If Richard Peacock's watching, it's going to be...
Like with Snett.
Can't remember if I'm down for that one or not, but fingers crossed. I know I've got a couple more snets to go this year, so it'll be great to see that. Jack Noller completing his day there in the GT car. As you say, when he was at the call this morning he had, so very late in the day, and he's had a terrific day, isn't he? Coming back, winning in the Masters. He's got another 2 wins to go for tomorrow as well.
Dominant in the Masters, wasn't he, really, in the end? It made it look very easy indeed, and he's not making that look very easy. A huge slide as he nips up the inside of the 99 car. That was for position. He's actually defending that 8th place from the 99, which I'm going to guess has Aaron Cook at the wheel. Yes, it does. That car's been rapid every time Aaron's been in it, and he's trying to gain another spot here as they drop down through the cork through 8th position they're battling over. And the last 2 cars still on the lead lap. Across the line they go. Rafa's racing behind them. And they are actually behind them in the results as well, but they are a full lap behind this group, which makes its way now around target, up towards the banking once again, on the 119th lap of the race. We've got 123 laps in earlier on this afternoon, and the same number in the bag. Olympian GRD double race winners here at Anglesey. Simon Brook, Riley Phillips and Krista Bell win again in the Fun Cup Endurance Championship. Round 5 goes the way of Team Olympian GRD, and the team celebrating on pit wall there as Simon and Chris, they hug each other in celebration, and as they do so they're going to miss this finish between Uvio and Greenheath, but I think it is going to go the way of Uvio here. They come out of the final corner, and it will be another podium finish for Uvio, Hoffman's Lotus, Fabio and and Farkini coming home in second. Third for Greenheath, and solid points scored again for MJ Tech, although they will be disappointed definitely, because for a while there, Richard, it really looked like they were in the hot seat for a race win.
Yep, they did. Looks as if they might get on the podium. 4th position, ultimately, of course, in the year, might not be the one they drop, so that could be a good change for 7th place as well coming up.
Yes, that must be the 257 ahead of the 246. Yes, it is. So good final stint there from Jack Noller to gain a place on the final lap, and he moves into 7th place. Then EDF8 and 99 managed to hang on to that. Sorry, not to 9th place in the closing stages of that race.